Welcome back. Let's now turn our attention to fishing for largemouth in the summertime. Alright, when the summer comes, it brings along hotter days and hotter water temperatures, which means the bass will move shallow water early in the morning to feed and return to deeper waters near channels and structure during the daytime. Alright, what type of lures are most effective in the summer? In the summer, in the morning you could use any of your plastics and anything you would use probably during the spawn because the bass are feeding. But as the day gets longer, topwater lures are very good to use, especially early in the day as well. Spoons are very good to use. This is also, like I said, great time to use worms, lizards, and any Texas or Carolina rigged bait. Alright, let's talk about fishing for largemouth in the fall. Alright, as the fall approaches, the air and the water temperatures begin to cool, and fishing for largemouth bass can be very good at times, as the fish are beginning to store food for the winter. When they're storing food for the winter, they're becoming active. They're very active, and fishing can be very good at this time. However, during this time, fishing can be very strange. The fish are very fickle, and it can be poor. The bass are going through a dramatic change at this time as they're preparing themselves for the winter weather. Alright, what type of lures are effective during the fall weather? Alright, spinner baits are very good, retrieved at a slow pace. When fishing a spinner bait in the fall, you would want to retrieve it at a slower pace than you would in the summertime. You also would, deep diving crankbaits are good, especially if you can cast them along fallen trees, any stumps or sticks that are sticking out of the water. If you fish jigs off a rocky lake point, especially where it drops down low, plastic worms and lizards are always very good to use and can be effective during this time. Alright, how do we choose the right color of lure? Alright, choosing the right color of lure. Choosing the right color of lure is very important. When you walk into a Bass Pro Shop or any type of sporting goods store, you see thousands and hundreds and different colors of worms and lizards and lures. Which one do you pick? When do you pick it? Well, let's talk about this. Alright, when choosing a lure to buy, the most important thing to consider is the water clarity. There are four main types of waters. You can have muddy water, dingy water, which is not clean, very much like muddy water, stained water, and clear, that greenish blue water. Stained and clear kind of go together. Alright, let's talk about the muddy and dingy waters. Alright, when you're fishing in muddy and dingy color waters where the visibility is very poor, anywhere from 1 to 4 feet, the best colors to use would be a chartreuse, a black, a brown, orange, any bright reds. When you're fishing in stained and clear water, in clear waters with anywhere where the visibility can be up to 20 feet, some of the best colors to use are more natural colors. A shad, a natural blue, a watermelon green, green pumpkin. Any variations of these colors are very good. June bug is also a great color I like to use when fishing in clear waters. It's very good to keep a variety of colors in your tackle box because you never know. You could be on a fishing trip. It could be very clear the first couple of days, and then you might have a really good rainfall one night, and the next morning have muddy water. So it's good to keep a variety of colors in your tackle box, but know when is appropriate to use each color. Alright, what are my preferences for largemouth bass fishing? Alright, I prefer using a bait cast reel. I use a Quantum bait cast reel, the Kevin Van Dam model. I think it has 10 or 11 ball bearings. I prefer using a 14-pound test. I've probably caught more fish on a plastic worm rigged wacky style without a weight than any other things. Some of my friends kind of like to make fun because I think it's a novice way to catch bass, but I simply just bump it off the bottom, and when they're sitting there with nothing in the boat and I've got several fish, and they start fishing the same thing. My probably favorite worm to use would be a Konami. It's made by Konami Baits. I like using the June bug, which is kind of like a purplish color, or the green pumpkin color worm. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation and learned a little bit more about fishing for largemouth bass.